Hi, so we're going to look at average again today, but this time instead of finding average, we're going to be working on finding a missing piece of the data dealing with average. And the best thing to do in these kind of situations is to jump right into an example. And I have this example worked out already, and we're going to talk through it and talk about the steps. So our example says that Corey has received the following grades this term: 75, 87, 90, 88, and a 79. If he wishes to earn an 85 average, what must he score on his final test? So as you can tell, we're not asking what is the average. We're giving the average, and we're looking for another piece of that data. We're looking for that other test. So let's look. Step 1 says to set up the problem. And I want you to notice how we set up the problem. We set it up exactly as we would to find average. Remember, to find average means to add up all the numbers, divide by how many there are, and it equals the average. So here I've added up 75, 87, 90, 88, and a 79 plus S. This is what we're trying to find. This is that last test grade, the test grade that he needs to take, and we need to find out what does he need to make on that in order for his average to be an 85. That's what we're looking for. We divide by how many there are. Notice, we divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We include that last test even though he hasn't taken it yet, because that test is still part of the data set. So even though there's only 5 numbers, we divide by 6, and it equals 85. That's our desired average. So the first thing is to set up all the questions, or set up the problem. Step number 2 is to add the known numbers. So that 419 is what 75 plus 87 plus 90 plus 88 and plus 79 equals. That's adding all those up. Notice nothing else has changed. I'm still adding S. I'm still dividing by 6. At this point, it turns into just a plain solve the equation. You're solving for S. So the next thing to do is to get rid of that divide by 6. Well, the opposite of dividing by 6 is by multiplying by 6, which is step 3. Multiply by the total number of variables. So you can see here, we're multiplying 6 times 6 on both sides. Well, that means those 6's cancel out. So step 4 is now to subtract the sum. Now we subtract that 419 from both sides, and then step 5, you're left with your answer. So here's the 3 things we do. We add, multiply, subtract. Notice there's no division. And a lot of times people think there's a division part because there is division when it comes to finding average, but not in this scenario. Let's try some examples. The team scored the following number of runs in their game this season: 6, 2, 5, 9, 11, 4, 5, 8, 6, 7, 5. If they want to end the season with an average of 6, there's my average per game, how many runs must they score for the final season? So let's go ahead, and we're going to start by adding all this together. We've got 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 11 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus X. Okay, that's that last game, divided by, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Divided by 12 equals, this all equals 6. We want our average to be 6. There we go. There's step 1. Step 2, let's add all this stuff up together. So we want to add up all those numbers. And when I add all those numbers up, you should end up with 68. So I've got 68 plus S plus X divided by 12 equals 6. We're trying to solve for our variable. So I'm going to start by multiplying by 12. That will get rid of my 12, and I'm still left with 68 plus X. And we would need to do 6 times 12, which would be 72. And lastly, we would subtract 68 from both sides. That leaves me with 4. So they need to score 4 points their last game for them to have an average of 6 runs per game. Another one. It says here that the table's shown the points scored by a lacrosse team so far this season. The team will play 14 games this season. How many points need to be scored during the last game so that the average number of points scored this season is 12? So, same thing. Let's set up our problem. So we're going to add 11 plus 15 plus 12 plus 10 plus 10 plus 13 plus 14 plus 13 plus 13 plus 10 plus 15, plus 12 plus x all over, let's count how many we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and this all should equal 12. So next step is to add all those numbers together. When we add all those numbers up, you should get 158. So I have 158 plus x divided by 14 equals 12. So now we're going to try to get rid of this 12. I'm going to get rid of this the 14 by multiplying both sides by 14. That leaves me with 158 plus x, and 12 times 14 is 168. I need to now subtract 158 from both sides. Leaves me with x all by itself, and 168 minus 158 is 10. So the lacrosse team needs to score 10 runs this last game. So remember our steps. We add, we multiply, we subtract. Good luck.